Don't scroll. I'm going to show you the exact steps I took to manifest $5,000 without a job. Okay, so about a couple of years ago, this did happen a couple of years back, I've manifested larger sums of money, but I wanted to share this particular experience because this is when I was not working regularly. I did not have a 9 to 5. I was self-employed, but I wasn't getting as much business at the time, and I just wanted to manifest a lump sum of money. $5,000 at the time seemed like a pretty good amount for me, and that's what I went for. So the first thing I did was I decided on the amount. Now, again, like I said, I decided on 5,000 because I felt like that was going to be enough to take care of my bills and allow me some spending money, splurging money to do some other things that I wanted to do, like get my hair done, my nails done, that girly stuff. The second thing I did was I wrote down everything that I was going to do with the $5,000. Okay, so during this time, I wrote down my bills. I wrote down whatever was due, and basically I just wrote it down on I believe I wrote it down on an index card or a sheet of paper. So I wrote down everything that I was going to do with it, and that was the second step. Now, I want to talk about why it's important to write down what you're going to do with the money. If you know anything about manifesting, I always talk about shifting identities or shifting realities. Now, a lot of times when you want to manifest money, it's hard to actually put a feeling to the money. So when you write down what you're going to do with it, it actually gives you the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as Neville Goddard always talks about. It takes you to the end of it. And in manifesting anything, you literally have to identify with the person who already has it. So writing down what you're going to do with it actually helps you identify with having that amount of money in your possession. The next thing I did was I adopted an abundance mindset. Ooh, why is that important? Because in my current state, my current mindset, I was already kind of penny pinching, and I was trying to hold on to everything that I was getting in because I knew that at that point in time I didn't have that many clients coming in, and I felt like I need to hold on to everything I had. In manifesting at $5,000, I understood that I had to adopt an abundance mindset. But what I began to do is I began to first get rid of my coupons. Yes, I am the coupon queen, or during that time, at least I used to be a coupon queen. So I valued my coupons. When I went through drive-thrus, I always had a coupon to minimize my expense. Well, during this time, I understood the importance of becoming that which I say I am. I had to match the frequency and the energy of having $5,000 at the time, and at that time, that was a lot of money for me. So what I did was I got rid of the coupons, and I actually started ordering my meals without coupons. Then I went a step further. Instead of me ordering from the dollar menu or the value menu, I will order from the regular menu. So if I was at Wendy's, instead of me getting a $5 biggie bag, I would get the number 9 or the number 10, just a regular meal, because I was exercising abundance. The whole idea of me ordering the regular meals was to convince my subconscious mind that I had already arrived, that I was already abundant, and that I no longer needed to shop with coupons because I had $5,000 in my possession. Thank you, God. Okay, so you guys, the next thing I did was I started giving. So no longer was I not using coupons, I started extending gifts to other people. So I had a cousin that had called me, and she said that she was hungry. So what I decided to do was ask her, did she want me to buy her a meal? And she says yes. So I asked her, at the time I believe I was at Arby's, and I said, what do you want? And I told her, just pick anything off the menu you want, I got you. And so she ended up picking like a number 7. So I also purchased her a number 7. It just really put me in that spirit of abundance. And of course my subconscious mind was being programmed to believe that I already had it like that. The next thing I did was I started practicing the vacuum law of prosperity. Now what this means is nature abhors a vacuum. We hear this all the time. It means that whenever there's a space that needs to be filled, nature's response is to fill the space. So what I did was I began getting rid of everything in my life that was clutter, or anything in my life that I didn't use anymore, because I understand that is stagnant energy. And a lot of times when we hold on to things that we no longer need, it holds up the universe from filling that space with the things that we desire, that we want. So I began to get rid of my son's old toys, his old shoes, clothes, things that he no longer wore. I began to go in my closet and pull out things that had been sitting there for a while, and just started to get rid of a lot of clutter and things that I had around my house that I no longer had any use for. The next thing I did is I began to extend love to so many people. This is all a part of developing an abundant mindset. So what I did was I started showing love towards people. I started giving compliments. I started complimenting people on their outfits or their clothes or their hair, or just saying thank you when someone does something kind for me, or just going the extra mile to let people know that they were special. Love is the highest vibration. And when you're on the frequency of love, only good things can come to you. So what I started doing is really started showing love and extending love towards people everywhere I went. I didn't get in arguments with people. I tried to hold my peace and let the Lord fight my battle. If I wanted to argue, I just did not. I skipped the conversation, or I changed it to something else to avoid getting in arguments and staying in love with everybody. The last thing I did was I prayed. I told God that I wanted $5,000, and it was actually the morning that I manifested it. I woke up that morning, I felt really good. I felt like I was in another dimension. I didn't know what was going on that day, but it felt really special. The night before, I had went to the store and purchased a lottery ticket, and when I had purchased that lottery ticket, I literally felt like I didn't really want to purchase a ticket, but I told myself it's just $1. When I got to the register, the man told me that, well, this ticket is not going to run until tomorrow, and I said that was fine. But the next morning, when I woke up, I felt really good. I don't know why I felt really good. I felt a sense of peace, a sense of just good. I remember saying that when I woke up, I knew that I needed money that day in particular for something that I needed to take care of. And I went to the gas station and I had bought another lottery ticket. And when I bought the ticket, I was like, well, we're going to see what happens with these numbers. I'm feeling really, really good today. I didn't know why. I literally felt like I was in another dimension. I did not feel like I was the same person. I felt like I was just another version of me. I didn't realize I had shifted to the reality where I actually was in possession of the $5,000. When the numbers came out at 2 o'clock, I remember looking at my numbers that I had just purchased just a couple of minutes prior. And I remember saying, oh, my numbers didn't hit today. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. But as I began to look up at the Pick 4 numbers, realized that the ticket that I had bought the night before with the numbers 3333 had actually fell. And that day, I literally won $5,000. You guys, I had tears thinking about it because I remember prior to me winning, I told my sister, I said, you know, I really need money today. And I said a good $5,000 to $10,000 would be great. And I had that low bracket there. I wish I'd have said 10, but I had already assumed the identity of the person who was in possession of $5,000, and that's what actually came to me that day. The thing I want to point out more than anything is that I did not know that I was going to get the $5,000 from the lottery. I had no idea, and I did not limit God. I did not limit the universe to just lottery because at the time I really wasn't playing. However, a few weeks prior to me really beginning to practice the law of vacuum law of prosperity, before I started really giving and adopting that abundant mindset, I remember seeing threes everywhere. I don't know, I just got this inclination to play it in Pick 4. And so I went on a lottery website and I looked and I was like, oh, these numbers haven't hit in like 8 years. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play them. And so I literally started playing 3333 in the Pick 4. I didn't play it every day. And there were some days went by, like that night when I went to the gas station, I didn't want to go to the gas station. I literally was like, I need to put gas in this car because I'm not going to be getting gas when it's time to take my son to school in the morning. I know I don't like to get up and I know I'm not going to feel like getting gas. So that night, even though I did not feel like going to the gas station, I listened to that small, still voice. I went to that gas station and that's when I actually purchased the ticket. Had I not listened to the intuitive voice, I would have missed it. But really, I don't think I would have missed it because I was already assuming the identity of the person who had the wish fulfilled. So some kind of way the universe would have got it to me. I literally ended up winning $5,000 and it happened. It actually happened. The thing that I had wished for, hoped for, and some people may be asking, how long did it take to happen? I had made the decision a couple of months back that I wanted to manifest 5,000, but I did not start practicing all of those things that I shared with you about, those 6 or 7 tips, until about a week, maybe about a week and a half prior to me actually winning. And you guys, guess what? After I won and went to the lottery website to look to see the exact date that number 3333 had fell, and you know how long it had been? It wasn't 8 years, you guys. That number hadn't fallen in the Florida lottery for Pick 4 in 28 years. That's when you know it's God. So I want to encourage you guys, try these steps. I know this is a super kind of a longer video. Try these steps. Everything, I'll go through everything. Decide the amount, and I have it written down so I don't want to mess up. Decide the amount you want. I don't care if it's $5,000. I don't care if it's $100 that you want. Decide the amount. Write down everything you're going to do with it. Adopt an abundance mindset. Start giving in some capacity or another. Get rid of your little coupons or whatever. Now listen, I'm not telling you not to use your coupons, but I'm saying whatever you can do to convince your subconscious mind that you are already there, that you are already in possession of what you're asking for, do that. For me, it was coupons. For you, it might be something else. Have a yard sale. Do whatever you need to do to get rid of the stagnant energy so that you can make room for what you're asking for. And then show love, extend love. Don't argue with people. Stay on the love frequency, the love vibration, because that's going to usher in every good thing that you desire. And lastly, don't forget to pray. It never hurts. And remember, prayer is a state of being. It's a state of you knowing that you have already what you possess. And so I hope this video helped you. I want to hear some testimonies. Go ahead and save this video so that you can share your testimony in the comments. Who want to learn how to do the things that I'm talking about, I do have an identity shifting guide that will show you how to shift it to that dimension of yourself, your 4th dimensional self, to become that which you say you are so that you can manifest the things that you desire. Simply type shift down in the comments and I'll send you the link.